Hi, this is Luke Bowman. Welcome to my video lesson for Cory Wong's version of The Way It Is. I've always loved this song. It's been one of my favourites for many years, and I was really excited to see Cory doing a live version of this on his recent live album with the Metropole Orkest. Let's have a quick look at some of the parts that we'll be looking at today. It's such a great song, and unlike a lot of the lessons I've done, it's a song that everybody will know. So it's really good fun to play, it's a really good song to learn, and then you can impress all your friends with it. As always, there is a link to the PDF transcription below, so please get yourself a copy of that when you're going through the song. If you do enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Please feel free to share it with all your friends as well. Please also check out my Facebook and Instagram pages. There are links below, so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on. Okay, let's get zoomed in and we'll start the lesson. Okay, so the song is in the key of G major, pretty much structured main riff, verse, chorus, main riff, verse, chorus, solo, etc, etc. So to save some time, I'm just going to look at the first variations of the main riff, verse and choruses. You can use the tablature to check back and listen to what Cory's playing. There are some slight variations in his strumming and the notes he's hitting, but you can get all that from the tablature. So let's start off with the iconic main riff, which goes a bit like this. Okay, so a lot of double stops there. Throughout this song, Cory's doing a lot of double stops, so it's a really good workout for you, especially during the solo, which we'll come to. The first 4 bars of drums intro, we start with a little pickup on the guitar, like this. So 14th fret on your D and G strings, and then 12th fret on your G and B. I'm playing it both as bars. You could play it with your fingers if you wish, but there's quite a lot of fast moving stuff in here, so you really have to think about how you finger the various parts. And then into that first bar, so we're 14th fret on the G, 13th fret on your B string. Twice, a couple of scratches. Cory's hand is always going, very often hitting scratches between the notes, and then back to the 12th fret on your G and B. So, okay, and then we end that bar with a couple more scratches, and then 14th fret on your G, down to your 12th fret on your G, and then the 14th fret on your D and G string. Cory puts quite a bit of vibrato on that note. Scratch up to the 12th fret again on your G and B, a couple of scratches, and then back to the 12th fret this time on your D and G strings. So that little part. Couple more scratches, 14th fret on your D, 12th fret on your D, so that whole part. Then a scratch, 12th fret on your G and B, another scratch, and then 12th on your G, 13th on your B, and then hammer on the 14th fret on your G string, like that, scratch, back to the 12th. Like that. Scratch, and then the 14th on your D and G. Back to the 12th on your D and G. It's that last bit. That's the whole riff. That then repeats. Slight variation second time round at the end of bar 10, where instead of going, we're going 12th fret on your G to the 12th fret on your D. Slight difference again, I think, as Cory's just vamping it when he's playing live. But it's a great little riff. And then we go into the verse section. I have written out the chords for the various parts on the tablature. The verse, kind of chord-wise, we're doing A minor 7, E minor 7, D, C, but with the piano and the other instruments, they're adding the 9th note, the D, to the C, so that kind of chord. G, D, back to that. C add 9. So is the basic progression. And what Cory's doing here is he's using those chords in certain voicings, which we'll look at, very much playing a percussive rhythm part with his right hand. So this right hand is always going. I've tried to indicate the various scratches on there. They were just an estimate of where he's actually hitting the strings. I would imagine he's hitting the strings quite a lot. You can really hear that scratching noise coming through on the recording. So if we look at how he's playing each chord, he's really just picking out certain notes to imply the chord. The rest of the band are filling in the chords, really. So we're starting off with this A minor. We're hitting the bottom A here on your 5th fret of your E string, and then up the octave, 7th fret of your D string. All the scratches. So 5th fret, a couple of scratches, hitting the 7th fret on your D string. A couple more scratches, so. And then we're sliding up into the E minor 7, so from the D on your A string up to the 7th fret. More scratches, and then we're hitting the 7th fret on your G. So this is the E minor 7, so we're playing the root and the 7th note. So, and then a load of scratches. So you really got to get the feel of this and get into it and play along with the song. So that first bar, but do it slowly. Next bar, we're going down to the D. Cory very often voices his chords like this. So instead of D major here, he's adding the 3rd. 5th fret of your A string, 4th fret of your D string, and then the 7th fret of your G string. That's kind of what he's doing here. Although it is very hard to hear exactly what he's hitting, but certainly some of these notes are coming through. So again, we're hitting the bass note, 5th fret of your A string, scratch, and then we're hitting the 7th and 4th frets together there. So the 4th fret on your D, 7th fret on your G, and then 4 scratches. And then down to the C chord, 3rd fret on your A, and then the 2nd fret and 5th fret on your G and D strings. So all together. That kind of a vibe going. And then we're sliding up. I'm not convinced he's doing this, or whether it's just the bass player, but it sounds good anyway. From the 1st fret on your bottom E up to the 3rd fret to the G on your bottom E, and then we're hitting the 5th fret on your D string. Sliding up again, 3rd to the 5th this time on your A string, hitting the 7th, 4 scratches, and then back to that C. So that chord there, he's staying on the C, as we did earlier, 4 scratches, and then he's putting the 5th of the chord in there, 5th fret of your D string, on that 3rd beat, and then we've got one of the old Cory. So he's kind of hitting the 20th fret up here, very, very quickly, sliding down, and then the 15th fret. So 20th fret on your B string, and then 15th fret on your E string, bottom E string. Something like that. So, those last 2 bars there. Something like that. Okay, and then pretty much repeat. So the A minor 7 followed by the E minor 7. Just as we did before, but this time we're going to slide up into the D from the 3rd fret of your A string. So sliding up 3rd to the 5th on your A, hitting the 4th on your D string, scratch, and then the 7th on your G string. A few more scratches and then back to the C. So So those two bars. And then back to the G on your bottom E string, 3rd fret. Hit the 5th fret on your D, 4 scratches, and then the 5th fret on your A string, scratch, and then the 4th, add the 4th fret on your D, and then I'm just going to play a C chord. Okay, so the second half of that. That's kind of the idea of the verse. Think about the chords that you're playing, you can do it differently. Come up with your own funky rhythms for it. And then we go into the chorus section, which is kind of the melody that everybody knows. Nice and simple. So we're playing G to F major 7, back to C. And the melody's kind of outlining that. So we're starting 12th fret on your A string, 14th fret on your A string, skip across to the 12th fret on your G string. Applying that G major chord. Then we're moving down 2 frets and playing 10th fret on your A, 12th fret on your A, 9th fret on your G. This is implying the F major 7 chord. And then we're moving down to the 5th fret and playing 5th on your A, 7th on your A, 5th on your D string. Just taking us back to that C chord down here. So for each of these chords you're kind of playing the 2nd up to the 3rd to the root, 2nd up to the 3rd up to the major 7th, 2nd up to the 3rd, and the 5th of your C chord. So that's the melody, repeats 4 times. Give it a bit of vibrato to make it sound nice. So that's what's repeated each time. I don't think that changes at all throughout the song whenever we come to the chorus section. Okay, so we now go back into the main riff and then into verse 2. Pretty much the same in the way that Cory is outlining the chords that we looked at earlier and the rhythms that he's playing. Verse 2 and also verse 3 after the solo both have little licks in the middle, which we'll look at now. So verse 2, if we go through to bar 36, so we've done the... and then we have this lick. Sounds quite easy slow, but it's very fast. You want to play this very staccato and very muted with your right hand to get it all out. So we're up at the 12th fret, starting off kind of on an upbeat. So 1 E. We're hitting the 12th fret on your D and G, adding the 14th fret, then adding the 14th fret on your D string, and then hitting 14th fret on your G string as well. So. And then 12th fret on your G and B, 14th and 13th on your G and B, 12th fret on your G and B, back to the 14th fret on your D and G, 12th fret, 14th fret, 12th fret, and down to your A and D strings, 14th fret, down to the 12th fret, 14th fret, and then back to the 12th fret on your D and G. So, great little double stop lick, very fast, so start it slow and work up to it. If we now jump to after the solo, which we'll come back to in a second, there's a very similar lick in verse 3 in the same place. So this is at bar 80 in the track, and it goes... or fast. So this time, we're starting at the 12th fret on your G and B, up to the 14th and 13th, back to the 12th, back to the 14th fret on your D and G, down to the 12th, D and G, back up to the 14th, back to the 12th on your G and B, 14, 13, 12, 14 on your D and G, 12, D and G, down to the 14 on your A and D string, and then up to the 12th fret on your G and B. So okay, so after that second verse we go back into the chorus again 4 times, and then twice through the main riff. That riff there. That then brings us to the start of bar 56. And we move into the guitar solo. Okay, I'm going to take this just bar by bar. A lot of double stops in here, a lot of cool little patterns going on. I would recommend you take it slowly, get the fingering worked out, get your head around it, and then start to speed it up. So the end of that bar 56, kind of start with some scratches, and then starting 12th fret on your G, 14th fret on your G, 12th fret on your G and Bs. What I would say about the majority of this solo is, as Cory does very often in his solos, it's almost like a rhythmic exercise as well. So the hand is always going and he's hitting different notes to kind of pick out the solo, which is a great way of doing it because you get a lot of really funky rhythms going on within the solo. Kind of think about your hand always going, and you're hitting a few scratches here and there, hitting a few kind of muted notes along the way. So I've transcribed the notes that are being played, but feel free to add a bit more scratching, a bit more feel to it. Into the next bar. So we're starting on the 12th fret, G and B twice, 14th fret, a rest, up to the 16th and the 15th. Also is all on your G and B string. Then back down to the 12th, another rest, 14th and 13th again, and then back up to the 16th and 15th, scratch, and then it's taking us into the next lick at the end of the bar. So that's all on those 2 strings, using those 3 sets of notes. Sounds quite funky because it's all of kind of on the upbeats, or on the upstrokes. So and then the next bar, so we've kind of gone then down to the 14th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret, 12th fret, all on your D and G, as we did earlier in the song. Then down to your A and D strings, 14, 12, 14, back to the 12 on your D and G. And then 14th fret on your D string, rest, scratch, 12, 14 on your D and G. Then we go to the 12th fret on your G and B, back up to the 13th and 14th, and then slide up to the 16th and 15th. Same notes we were doing before. Back to the 12th. The only difference at the end of the bar, we're hitting the 15th fret on the top 2 strings, on your B, on your E. That bar goes like that, slowly. Into the next bar, back to the 16th and 15th on your G and B, scratch, down to the 14th and 13th, 12 again, 14, 13, 12 and 12, all on your G and B, 14, 12, 14 on your D and G, back to the 12 on your G and B, twice, and then slide it back up. So you see, Cory's pretty much using all the same notes here. I'm not using a whole lot of notes, but the rhythm by either using rests or scratches, he's making it sound very interesting. So it's a great exercise. You don't have to be playing 1,000 notes to make a solo sound good. He's making this sound very good and very funky with just a few notes, but a lot of great rhythm going on. Okay, so we've slid up here to the 16th and 15th fret. A couple of scratches, hit it again, down to the 14th and 13th, scratch, 12th fret, and then the 15th fret on your G and B. 16th fret and 15th fret again to end the bar. Okay, into the next bar, starting again. We're starting up at the 15th fret on your B and E strings, scratch, 16 and 15 on your G and B, scratch, 14, 13, scratch, 12, 13, 12. So then down to the 14th on your D and G, 12, 14, back up to the G and B, 12, back to the 14th on your D and G. To the next bar, keep on going down with this double stop pattern. 12th, so twice 12th fret on your D and G. And we're doing, I believe this is kind of thirds. It's quite hard to pick out what Cory's playing here because there's quite a few muted strings. Another thing, another point to mention is that a lot of the time he's hitting other muted strings while he's hitting things, so it can be quite hard. So I've picked out what I believe is being played. So 15th fret on your A, 15th fret on your A, 14th fret on your D, twice, down to 14th and the 12th, down to 12th and 10th, all on your A and D strings, down to 10 and 9. So we're just kind of walking down the scale here in thirds. Back up to the 12 and 10, slide up to the 14th and the 12th, scratch, and then to the 12th on your D and G strings. So next bar, do a grace note hammer on to the 14th fret from the 12th fret on the D string, back to the 12th fret, scratch, 12, 12, scratch, 12, 14, 12, 12 on your G string. And that's kind of the end of the first half of the solo. Second half is the bit that I actually did in my playthrough earlier on, starting off here on the 12th fret. So 12th twice, a bit of a scratch. 14th fret, slow bend up. Put a little bend on that 12th in the transcription, might be just some very slow vibrato. And then a little blues lick, run up. So 14th fret on your A, 12th fret on your D, 14th fret on the D, 12th and then 14th on your G. This 14th note here, actually, when I listen to the transcription and slow it down, Cory's actually playing an open G string. So kind of... I'm not sure if that's intentional, but as the rest of the lick goes like that, I've left it at the 14th fret. If you want to be authentic and play it how Cory was doing, it goes like that. So this lick runs up to here, and then we slide up 14th to the 16th on your G string, and we go into this little pedal tone lick, which I really love. So the pedal tone is when you're always going back to the same note and you're playing other notes with it. So the pedal is the 16th here on your G string, and we're doing 15th fret on your B string, back to that 16th fret, 17th fret on your B string, back to that 16th, 15th fret on your top E, and back again to that 16th, and then on your top E string, 15, 17, sliding up to the 19th, like that. And we start on these great descending double stop licks, which I found very hard because I've got quite chubby fingers, I'm afraid to say. So up here, where the frets are quite small, for me to get double stops in, I found this quite difficult to do. So So starting off here, 20th fret on your B string, 19th on your top E. G chord. Into the next bar, twice, 17th fret on your top 2 strings, twice, 15th fret twice on your top 2 strings, 17th fret on your G and B strings, 16, 15 on your G and B, each one of these you're hitting twice, down to the 13th and 14th on your G and B, and then hit the 12 3 times on your G and B, and end up on the 14th fret of your D. So that's probably how I would finger it. So you've slide down. At speed it's a lot more difficult. Next bar, 12th on your D and G, 14th twice on your D and G, 12th on your G and B, back to the 12th on your D and G. Then we're hitting twice, so 12th on your D, G and B, and then sliding up back to this 20th and 19th. Hit that 3 times. There's that bar slowly. So the next bar starts up here, 20th and 19th, down to the 17th. And then down to the 15th fret on your top strings. And then 17 on your B, 16 on your G. Twice. So that bit. Back up to the 20th and 19th on your top 2 strings. This time sliding down to 17 and 15 on your top 2 strings. Hit the 17 and 16 on your B and G. Then 17th fret on your G and B. So sliding back up to the 20th and 19th for the final rundown. 17th fret, top 2 strings. So here I'm hitting the 15th fret on the top 2 strings and then the 16th fret as well, so it's that G chord there. And then kind of hammering up to the 17th fret on your G and B. So you're hitting that 5 times, that 17th fret on your G and B. 16th fret, G and B, 3 times, slide down 3 times to the 14th and 13th on your G and B. And finishing the solo like that, so the 12th on your G and B, 14th on your D and G, and 12th on your D and G. And that is the end of the solo. Then goes back into a couple of times, then into verse 3. Verse 3 we already talked about, pretty much the same structure but that different lick in the middle. And then we finish off with the chorus 4 times. And that is the end of the song. Okay, hopefully with that and the tablature you can work out what you need to play. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson, managed to get something out of it. And if you've stayed this long, I will see you very soon for a better lesson. Those of you who follow the channel will know what that means. So I'll see you shortly with that. Thanks for watching.